Welcome back to the Rouges and we talk everything Canada soccer and US soccer. Tonight, because it is going to be late on the reaction, we're going to be reacting to the Canadian women's soccer versus England first game of the Arnold, or second game, I should say, of the Arnold Cup. But first game for the Canadian women's team. And in this one, Canada, they battled toe to toe with England and tied 1-1. And this is pretty good result to start off the year, given that this is their first competitive matchup of the 2022 calendar year. And, what better way to start, as I said in the preview video, of you've got quality opponents ahead of you, and England, as I'm going to show later on, along with Germany and Spain, they're all up there with Canada. So, and this is just one of those games that just prove your worth. And yeah, this was just a fun game to watch. But yeah, this is being recorded late because it was more convenient for me because the U.S. video just got released and the U.S. game just ended like not too long ago at like 1-ish in the morning. So this is actually being recorded right after I just posted that one. So yeah, and B, it's just more convenient for me because I've got a lot of projects and assignments and stuff due as a university student. So yeah, I just made it easier just to, instead of just taking a break during the day, just immediately record the Canada-England game. Why not just do it when I talk about both the U.S. and Canada games together or back to back? Plus when I'm in the mood, I can just, it makes it easier just to upload rather than take a break in the middle of the day and then come back and then upload another one later on the night. So it just made some sense for me. It's more convenient, but either way, I know it's late. Sorry about that, but it's better late than never. And but at least it won't have to be dramatically late as the games on the 22nd or on the 20th are going to be, as given I'm going to be in Montreal. The game recordings for those games are going to be on the 22nd, or literally the night I come in. I'm going to probably, even if I'm feeling tired, I'm probably going to have to push myself to do it. Or if not, that morning of, even then, Canada plays Spain at 9:30 that morning on the 23rd. So kind of have to get it released to you by then. So either way, I'm gonna just just be happy that this isn't being recorded that late, as that's gonna happen basically as soon as I come in from Montreal. So this is being recorded relatively late, I know, but hey, it just works out for me and it's more convenient. So I hope you guys like it. But yeah, and before I even forget, because I know in the U.S. video I forgot, before I even talk about all the games and stuff, let me go ahead and break down the Canadian starting lineup for you guys. I forgot to do so in the U.S. video, so sorry for all the U.S. fans out there who are watching that. And normally you won't get to see me break down the names as I normally do, but I do post it, so it's still there. But I just don't talk about it. Unfortunately, I forgot, but I did not forget this time. So for the Canadian women's against, they call it the Lionesses. I'm saying that right. The Lady Lions of England. Hope I'm pronouncing that right. The Lionesses. Um, we have Jessie Fleming, Kellen Sheridan, who's a starting keeper, by the way, Kadesha Buchanan, Deanne Rose, Julia Grosso, Jade Revere, Jordan Heidema, Ashley Lawrence, Desiree Scott, Janine Becky, and Vanessa Giles. And boy, was this a fun game to watch. And when I say that there were fantastic goals scored in this game, I know it was 1-1, but both the goals were just bangers. And yeah, in the 22nd minute, England has a corner. They play it short. And then it's whipped into the box from there, but it's pushed away by Sheridan. It's rebounded, though, by Millie Bright, who has a bright strike, and it finds into a deflection for a bright goal. And it's 1-0 for the Lionesses. And my goodness, what a banger this was. And I mean, I don't know how you like this. This strike was just, it just took the words out of my mouth whenever Bright struck this. And it's a one-time volley, and it does unfortunately take a deflection off of the Canadian player and into the back of the net. But what else could you do about this? This is a bright strike, a beautiful strike from a Bright player. And she plays it for Chelsea, and they really hope that that's gonna inspire her to pick up for her career where she left off over there. But I've got no words for that goal. I don't know what you can do about that. She just hit it one time, and it happened to take a deflection and into the back of the net. Even Sheridan, I don't know if she could have done anything about it. It was just a beautiful strike and a beautiful goal. But, hey, there couldn't be any other bangers, right? Well, there is. 55th minute, Canada would have a chance of their own. It's a turnover from England as Ashley Lawrence dribbles up the sideline, who slides it through to Janine Becky. Oh no, first Jordan Heidemann, and then to Janine Becky, and then Janine Becky has a little shimmying before she has a go at it, and what the heck is this shot? It just goes into, it's like a curler that curls into the top left corner. Nothing the English keeper can do about it, and pick that one out, as that's another banger. Just like the first one, this one might even be better. I mean, Janine Becky just whips this one right around and into the top left corner. The keeper dive makes it even look better, and Les Rouges tie it up 1-1. They equalize, and yeah, nothing the keeper can do about that. But that's the way it would end. Two quality goals from two quality teams, and what a way to start off the first game of 2022 for the Canadian women's team. Obviously, I know that looking back on the game, there's some stuff that could be cleaned up, but just overall, looking at the quality of the teams, there's some stuff that, hey, I mean, it can be improved, but this is a good measuring stick, as most of these games are going to be. We've got Germany next, by the way, who's also a good team, and you got Spain. So all these teams are going to be just measuring sticks and just quality. But before I get into any of that, let me break down the stats of this game. Quite a bit, and unfortunately, this is going to be like a shortened stat list, as Google normally shows the games on their page, but for whatever reason they only had the U.S. women's team match and not the Canadian women's team match. So I had to go and use BBC for this one, and so this is where your stats are provided by today, and this BBC. And unfortunately, it's limited stats and not as detailed as Google, but hey, we got stats and there's something to talk about. So for our possession, England did have a little more possession, 57% to 43% possession, although it was a good game overall, and it was in action on both sides. England did have more shots, 16 to 5 for Canada. 4 of the shots of those 16 for England were on target, while 2 of the 5 were on target for Canada. Canada looked way more clinical here, as England had somewhat chances of clinical. Corners, England had a lot of corners, 6 to Canada's 2, and then 8 to 7 fouls, roughly equal there. But yeah, the stats say that, hey, England, sure, they had a little more possession. They did have more shots given, as it was kind of expected how it was England's hosting it, and it was in their home stadium. Canada were the visitors, and hey, they had more corners and shots, but at the end of the day, Canada looked to make more use with their chances, as they did. And 2 of the on target, 1 finds a way into the back of the net, courtesy of Janine Becky with the curler. That's pretty good for me, and fascinating to watch. And yeah, just as I said, 2 quality goals from 2 quality teams that are really trying to prove their worth, right? They're really trying to prove what they can do and their capabilities on the world stage. And keep in mind, Canada, they're defending Olympic gold medal champions. England, this was a good test for England too, as the Lionesses, they weren't just facing anybody, but they defending Olympic 2020 gold champions. And hey, they looked like they were up for the challenges. Yeah, they had their chances, but Canada just refused to die and just kept digging in and get anything they can get, and it paid off. They got 1 point, by the way, I forgot to mention, in the table. So they did get a point. They did not lose, which every point here, given the amount of teams I'm seeing here, is valuable for the Canadian national team, and especially without Christine Sinclair and other key players that they're doing this without. But quality opponents calls for quality times, and right now, I know it was a little shaky at times, but hey, once again, as I said in the U.S. video, you can kind of cut them some slack. It's off season for them, and depending on if they're in their NWSL or not, it's off season for them. It's the first game of the 2022 calendar year for the team playing together, so we got to work all that in together. So there's a couple stuff, as I said in the U.S. women's team video, that can also apply here too. And you got a couple young players too, which I won't be surprised if they do get playing time over the next couple of games. But overall, this was just a fun game to watch, as It was just watching two heavyweights square off and like Rocky. Punches being exchanged. As in punches, obviously not physical, but just chances being exchanged. Left and right from both teams. That's what I like to see. I mean, as I said in the U.S. video, sure, it's fun to watch Canada and teams blow each other out 5-6-0, but at the same time, close games are also interesting too, and as you can also not only can you learn something from them more, but like they also just test your grit and your grind too. As if you have the ability to dig in and fight it through and fight to the bitter end, then hey, that just builds character right there. But hey, you have 5-6 goals. I mean, yeah, if you blow somebody out, which is why I'm kind of great that Canada's not playing kind of quote unquote easy teams. As I said, I would love to watch them just dump goals on their heads and but after a while, I'll probably get bored and watching and say, yeah, I mean, they've got this wrapped up after 3-0, and what can they really learn from this? But with close games like these, and what I expect to be hopefully with Germany and Spain, I mean, these are going to be measuring stick games and games that test your fight, your fight and your grit and everything you've got, your character. These are character building games, and just as I said with the U.S. Game, keep in mind that the window for World Cup qualifying and Olympic qualifying have shrunken due to the pandemic, and so all this grueling work is hopefully will pay off. And Canada, they're already starting off they're hitting the ground running. You played England, you played them 1-1, then you got to play Germany next, who is also a quality team, and then you play Spain, who is also yet another quality team. So there is no quote-unquote easy team or given win here that I see for Canada throughout the whole tournament. If they're going to want to win, they're going to have to earn it, and they're going to even with draws and ties, they're going to have to grind their way through, which is perfect. I mean, they have their own little group of death, everybody is like, hey, everybody's good. There is no bad team. Everybody's going to be tested, hopefully. Plus, if you look in the FIFA World Rankings too, all these teams are really next to each other. As the highest team out of the group is Germany at number 3 in the world, and then you go to Canada, who's second in the group at number 6, and then you go to England, who's number 3rd, the host nation. They're third in the group, but 8th overall in the world, and then overall 9th, which is right behind England, Spain. So it's also fitting too that you can also see how they're all these 4 teams are all on one page too, or one screenshot as I've taken. And that basically sums up the kind of challenges that Canada will be facing over the next duration of the couple of days or so. And yeah, you need these games. You need these games to really test and expose what you need to work on, and kind of act as measuring sticks, they said, to test and see where you stand against quality opponents, right? That way, these games, and just show that these games are not outliers, or the Olympic gold medal winning was not just an outlier or a fluke. These games actually really solidify and say, hey, Canada is a top quality team in the world, just like the USA, Sweden, France, Germany, Spain, etc. All those teams like that. Canada's up there too, right? This is your time to prove it. And so far, I know obviously, as I said, it's the first game of the calendar year, and things can really use some work. And we'll see what they do against Germany, by the way. Another, as I said, late reaction, so I'll be watching the highlights off of that, but hopefully it's a good game. But yeah, big opportunities to really learn some new opportunities here, and just improve on your mistakes and just get better. And just get ready for World Cup qualifying preparation as well as the Olympics. So, these next games are just going to be really testing you for, your ability to how you could perform on a world stage competition. And so, yeah, looking at these next games, I'm really looking forward to see how Canada plays, and that Rouges can hopefully put up good fights against these coming teams. And so far, obviously I said, I'm not going to repeat myself. It's a solid game against the Lionesses of England, and hopefully things will be continue to shape up going in a couple of days. But other than that, Canada looked decent. They had their chance of their own, although they were clinical. Although I guess hopefully they can work on just I guess possession more. But then again, it was at England, circumstances were different, so we'll just see how things shape up against Germany, and we'll see what they work on and what kind of improvements they make of their own as we see this. So yeah, but pretty much for the game overall, just two heavyweights, just like it's just gonna be all these juggernauts and heavyweights gonna be going against each other every single game, which will therefore, hopefully, if I'm not wrong, be quality matches to watch and enjoy, even if I'm looking at the highlights, you know. But quality opponents, Canada is really gonna get to know a lot here, hopefully, and really take away a lot. As I don't expect Canada to win the tournament, honestly. I just expect them to just you know, see how you perform. Like today, you went against the number 8 team in the world, which was arguably compared. If you're number 6, arguably on par with you, so about equal footing. Um, and then you turn around on number 20 if you face the number 3 team in the world. So, hey, that's gonna be a really big measuring stick, and it's gonna once again just like the U.S. New Zealand game. It's gonna suck to miss this one too, as Canada, Germany. This is going to be a darn good game, and especially where they rank up according to the world table. And this is going to suck, but hey, hopefully it's a good game, and hopefully I can have a lot to talk about, and hopefully they have a lot to take away and improve. And then Spain, as I said, is number 9. All these teams are just going to test you, so hopefully Canada learns a lot over the next couple of days or so, but we can only find out. Overall, just juggernauts going against each other. Fun match to watch. And let's see if they can keep it up, and let's see what they can improve on. But if you like this video, make sure you like, share, subscribe. Tell your friends about it. Also tell your friends that Les Rouges, they kind of measured up pretty decently against the Lionesses of England for their first game of the Arnold Clark Cup inaugural, I should mention. And we'll see what kind of improvements they make next against the number 3 team in the world, Germany.